the Fatu Network News Review today, Tuesday, 31st July 2018. My name is Omar Wali. I'm in the studios here with Almame Fandintal, the spokesperson for the United Jarankas and the people of Badibu. Before that, I will start with the Standard newspaper. Fatu Kamara challenges Barrow to name corrupt journalists. You may remember President Barrow made a claim that some journalists approached him requesting money for them to publish stories about him. But today, Fatu Kamara has challenged President Barrow, asking him to go further and reveal the names of the journalists he claimed came to him and asking him for money to write good stories about him. These allegations or claims made by the president raised a lot of questions, and the journalists in the country said it has put their integrity and their credibility at stake. Yesterday, I had the Secretary General of the Gambia Press Union, Sekou Jammeh, here, and Demba Kande, a lecturer at the University of the Gambia School of Journalism and Digital Media. Barrow's facing more problems than Jammeh, said Musa Suso, a former National Assembly member for Kombo North. He said that President Barrow's administration is the toughest and the most challenging compared to his predecessor, Yahya Jammeh, in terms of demands of Gambians. He said that Barrow's presidency is made more difficult in the sense that even those who voted him into office are putting him under pressure to deliver on his campaign promises, as opposed to Jammeh, who few people dare challenge. Those are the words of Musa Suso. He said, even those who put President Barrow, who voted for President Barrow, are challenging him to deliver or fulfill his campaign promises. And he said, what happened in the Gambia may be very painful, but it's relatively peaceful compared to Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, or even Nigeria, which are all West Africa, but they were able to reconcile. Well, to put that into context, in Ivory Coast, there was a civil war, I can say. In Liberia as well, there was a civil war in Sierra Leone and in Ghana during President J.J. Rawlings' time. He was accused of being a brutal dictator, and in Nigeria also during the military rule of Sani Abacha. And my party warns politicians against dividing people. The leader of the Gambia Moral Congress has warned politicians against dividing their own people. Posting on a Facebook, according to Standard, yesterday, the former Interior Minister said a politician who caricatures another tribe, particularly on public podium, represents the ignominy of the lowest. He's referring to Hamad N.K. Ba, who was said to have been launched attack on Mandinkas, and he was even attacked personally by one Jadama of the United Democratic Party. Water shortage hits Badibu. Kud Badar is a village in Badibu. They are calling on President Barrow and the NGOs to help them address the acute water shortage in their village. Yankuba High Court adjourns Yankuba Baji's mini trial. Yankuba Baji and several others are standing trial for the death in custody of Ibrahim Solo Sanding, and Ibrahim Mane is the new Gambia's ambassador to Sierra Leone. According to the Point newspaper, a reliable source has informed them that Ibrahim Mane, a seasoned diplomat and an accomplished civil servant, has been appointed the Gambian ambassador to Sierra Leone. Before his appointment, Femi Peters was Gambia's ambassador, and he passed on not long ago. The Fourier newspaper saying Faraba witnesses says PIU opened fire on them. Yesterday, the Fourier, they published the version of the former Inspector General of Police, Landing Kinte, saying all the 5 PIU officers fired live bullets. And KMC warned to appear before lawmakers. The Kanifing Municipal Council has been cautioned to appear before the National Assembly Select Committee on Local Government and Lands. And we'll be discussing about the Voice newspaper is saying that all MPs seen with Barrow are out of APRC. That the interim leader of the APRC, Fabakary Tombonjata, has said that all the MPs or former lawmakers who were cited at the State House pledging allegiance with were out of the party immediately after former President Jammeh left the country for Equatorial Guinea. VP Dabo launches the new National Women's Council. Ousainou Dabo yesterday launches the National Women's Council, and Barrow calls on the dialogue on Bakoteh dump site. It has been an issue. The dump site has been there, and the communities of Sukuta, Sanchaba, London Corner, and Manjayakunda has been bearing the biggest brunt. And that's what we have for the Voice newspaper. Now I will turn to my guest, Mr. Almami Fandintal. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you heard about the remarks made by the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malick Lowe.
Yes, I have heard about the remarks that she made during a political, not a political rally, but the president's Meet the People tour.
Yes. Okay, we will just have a listen to the clip first. From there, we'll continue with the discussion. So we'll get the clip.
Banjul mooy the seat of power. Banjul le mu sembo tulati. Bu doon ñun waa Banjul rek la. Banjul du tilim. Banjul te nola. Waaye Badibu Nkayi. Badibu Nkol. Dañoo jógee ba Badibu. Ñëw fii. Jaarankayi. Jógee ba Jaara ñëw fii. Ñooñu fi dee tilimalal. Wax naa ko Maabo. Bi élection bi jeexee. Dama ne Badibu Nkayi. Dem leen ngeen dellu Badibu. Ba élection jotaat. Ma fayalaat leen ngeen ñëw. Maabo doy na ma seede. Badibu Nkayi bañ.
That is what the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malick Lowe, said during President Barrow's dialogue with the people tour. The meeting was held at the Makati Square. What do you make of this? Is it a joke or?
Yeah, it was said in absolute jest. You could see it in her smile, in her expression. And I quite frankly have heard her joke with an elderly voter that after the lady votes for her, she should be prepared to be taken back to Badibu. So she is related through her mother's side to Badibunkas, the ancestors of Rohey Malick Lowe from Badibu. And then there is this Sanawiya Kal relationship, because she considers the people of Badibu like her grandparents. So we know that kind of joke is always there. And of course, a lot of people have taken objections to it. I just want to say that the political culture in this country is that we infuse it with our values. We talk about these things in a joking way. And you could see from her face that she was joking. She couldn't have meant any disrespect to anybody, you know.
The argument among many people was that that was not the right platform for her to say that, but there are issues, the drainage system, the roads, and so many other things.
That may be so, I mean, but let us be very clear. Recently, she was elected as mayor. She is coming on with all the problems of Banjul, all the problems of this urban infrastructure stretching from Banjul all the way to Brikama. Obviously, there are very serious problems, but they are national problems. If, when she has the opportunity, whilst the president is on a constitutionally mandated tour, to do the usual jokes or usual hustings, obviously she has every right to do that as a Gambian based on the traditions that we have in the country. The problems of urbanization and the problems of the drainage in Banjul, I think everybody is talking about it, especially during the rainy season. But please, let us be also clear, or usual hustings, obviously she has every right to do that as a Gambian based on both the mayor of Banjul and the mayor of KMC confronting these issues face on, whether the president is on a visit or not. Their efforts have to be given some time for them to be able to bear fruits.
Some people in your party are not best pleased with the statement.
Yes,
What do you say to them?
No, I mean, really, I mean, Omar, what is going to happen in the country is this. Everybody will express their views as long as they do it within the confines of our cultural expressions and do it respectfully. And like I said, she was saying this in a joking way. You could see it on her face. She was making reference to people. Everybody around her knew that this was, it was a jibe. So I really think in the final analysis, we should just consider this as a joke that may have gone too far. Some people may not like this kind of jokes, but really, I don't believe that Rohilo meant it in any other way than what it was meant to be.
Okay, I think you have somebody on the line. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Omar, it's me.
Yes.
Yes, Omar, can you hear me?
Yes, Fatu, I can hear you.
Yes, Omar.
Okay, I am having you today.
Yeah, I'm listening.
In your capacity as a journalist who challenges President Barrow, not as my co-host. Barrow said journalists approached him and they requested for money. And you said President Barrow should clear the doubt. Why are you so irate under the collar, Farouk Kamara? Hello?
Well, Omar, this is our life. We're journalists. I'm not saying,
it is your right?
I saw a lot of comments. I saw it on Facebook, people saying, maybe it's her, that's why she's doing that. I mean, our profession is being attacked. I have been a journalist all my life, and this is where I make my living, and this is a profession that I love, and this is the profession where many people respect us as to what we're doing. So if somebody wants to put our credibility into disrepute and put us out there, I think it is very important for us to get that clarified. I don't know how the people don't understand that, and they think we are pushing this too hard. Because what is happening now, look at all the insults that are being put on us recently. Everyone is saying, it's Fatou Camara, it's Mahmoud Bojang, it's this person, it's that person. But why don't the president come forward and say this is exactly what happened and just clear the air? That is all that we're interested in. That's all. So I don't know why that is hard for anybody to understand that.
But if you did not receive money from Barrow, as they claim Fatou Camara, why are you worried when President just made a blank allegation that some journalists, this can be journalists, non-Gambian journalists, just say journalists, why are you so bothered?
Well, Omar Wale, this is not about receiving money or not receiving money. I do not even need money from anybody.
Okay.
Except, when it comes to doing my business. And I think people should know this. This is not about the money.
Okay.
It's about the allegation. What Barrow does, that is going to kill journalism in Gambia. Look at what people are saying now. If you even post a story, these journalists, they will turn around and go and ask me. It's an allegation that is very dishonest and it's unfair. That's what I'm saying. If they say there are a lot of journalists in Gambia, how many journalists do we have in Gambia? That profession, we don't. So what it is, I'm not saying those who come forward now because it's ready to be a journalist. I'm saying the profession itself. I don't think any honest journalist or any real journalist would like this kind of thing. We're just saying we have a cordial relationship with the president. Everybody knows that. Why don't he let it be like that? Jammeh was here, he harassed us for over 20 years. We been in exile. People went through stuff. Some of our were killed. Some were captured. And Barrow came, we thought, okay, there is a man right here who said we are free to do our job and he will not interfere. And even the other things that the time journalism is over in this country.
Fatou, I think we'll, Fatou,
if I demand money from them, I will come in the open. Huh?
The line is bad. I think I will come back to you again when they will get a better internet. Is that possible? Can you call back and we try again? Okay, we are talking about, I'm discussing the issue of the bribe claims made by President Barrow that some journalists actually went to him and they requested for money and for them to publish good stories and stories that may not even be true. But according to Barrow, he told them that he will not give them a single boot because journalists will hold government accountable, not otherwise. So, Mr. Okay, hello?
Yes.
Yes, okay. You may continue.
Talking about, I'm discussing.
Yeah, Omar.
Yes, yes, I
think
can hear you.
With Almami, your interview with Almami is very interesting. So I just want to drop off so I can listen. But I just want to say what happened to our sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, what Rohi Malik Law said at that meeting was a joke. How many times do I say stuff about Badibunkas? How many times do I say stuff about Salahulis? I mean, why are they taking our people? I just don't know. But I really want them. I spoke to Rohi Law about this. She definitely was joking. She wasn't serious about it. Why would she say, go back and when it's time for election, I will pay for you to come back? Of course, we know she didn't pay for all those people who voted for her. It was just a joke. But anyway, I'll just stop here. And I think it's best that I, put the phone down so I can listen to you all. But definitely about the situation with this journalist issue, we only wanted Barrow to at least
Clarify.
make this clear so that the people know that we don't go around asking him for money. And now what Barrow is doing, he's telling us, Omar Wali, be tough on me. And I hope you get that.
Huh?
When we're doing this show, we're going to be very tough on him, because if we are not, maybe then we receive money, right?
Now, Fatou Camara, you want answers from Barrow, but why not in the story also? You, during your interview, you challenge both Barrow and the journalists to come forward and said, if Barrow, you challenge Barrow, and you should also challenge the journalists also to come and say, yes, I was the one Barrow was referring to. Why didn't you do that?
If it was me, I will come out. I will explain how it happened. I will come and say, yes, it was me, but this is how it happened. If the person didn't come out, because look at all the insults, how are they going to come out? People are saying everything to us. These journalists, they are bad, they are this, they are that. But you see, I'm not going to talk about this issue again. In fact, I have 2 interviews that I was supposed to do about this, one in Senegal and one by another foreign newspaper about this same issue. But I was talking to somebody, and I don't want to, push too hard. I think it's over. Now it's up to Barrow. If he wants to come up, let him come up and do it. If he doesn't want to come up, let him know that he's been very unfair to us. That's all.
How about the journalists in question? What message do you have for the journalists in question?
Well, I have confidence in our journalists.
Okay.
I have a lot of confidence, and I'm saying the trained journalist, because Barrow also needs to know the difference between a PR person and a journalist. He needs to know all the difference. I think we have very honest journalists in Gambia who definitely will not compromise the ethics of the profession. That one, I know about it. I know yesterday during your program, you made an example of the New Africa magazine, which that is what they do. I mean, they did that for Jammeh. If they approach Barrow, I think for their line of business, it's very normal for them. There's another magazine, African Leadership Magazine. They also ask money. They ask people to pay them so that they can publish stories about them. Most of the magazines do this. And if you ask me if I would categorize them on the journalists, I would say no. So I think that was my only concern. But I've said everything that I wanted to say about this issue, and I'm done. I spoke my mind, and I think I have a right to that. Just like Barrow has a right to come and accuse journalists, I also have a right to challenge him.
Thank you so much.
That is all. And, yeah. Let's listen to Almami.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
So many people want to call. So we're still on I'm here with the spokesperson for the United Democratic Party, Almami Fandintal. We are discussing the remarks made by the mayor of Banjul, Rohi Law. He said the people of Badibu and the people of Jara are the ones that are making the city dirty, and they should go back. The statement did not go down well with people, and it has caused a lot of debate. Some people responded. I think somebody also is on the line. Hello?
Hello, yes.
Yes. Coach, how are you doing? Pastor Majao.
Yes, Omar and Almami, how are you guys?
We are doing well.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Yes, sir.
I'm sure let me ask you if I may. Have you heard about the audio that has been going around, the remarks made by the mayor of Banjul?
Well, I was watching her speech live.
Right.
So, yeah, I've seen the audio that is being circulated, but I watched the audio live, the speech live whilst it was being given at, I think it was Makati Square.
There is this saying that it is not what you said, it is the way you say it. What do you make of her remark that the people of Badibu and Jara?
Well, I think, Obama, there was a saying that Obama used to say, the silly season of politics. And I think that's where we are. In all honesty, if you watch her body language, if you listen to the statement and how it was made, in my own estimation, I don't think there was anything malicious about it. And I think this was somebody who was just engaged in calante, which we all do for the most part, because we must be able to separate malicious statements from statements that are just made because of our culture and the joke that we do.
Yeah.
We all know that Badi Bunkers would joke with Kiankas, Nyominkas would joke with Jarankas, and all those things happen. And at the end of the day, I think the mistake that people sometimes make is that if you are perceived to be from Banjul, you are seen to be just somebody who has no connection to any of these other areas, which may not be true.
Yeah.
So, because I had an opportunity to speak to Rohi herself on Saturday, and I brought up this issue with her, and the reason why I called her actually was just to commend her for appointing Alaji Jah, who was her opponent, and giving her a prominent position to address the issues of Banjul. And this conversation came up, and she was telling me, the Badi Bunkers have started calling her and telling her that they are going to hire 6 bosses, and she was going to be the one to pay for those bosses. And then, but before they go, she would also have to feed them and all that. So, and it was all a joke. I could also understand people, having issues with it. But in my own estimation, I believe it was not meant to harm anybody or to disrespect anybody. This is somebody, I did not endorse Rohi. Everybody knew that I was supporting Lizzie. But I believe when facts are come, we just have to state them as they are.
I spoke to her this morning, and she told me the same thing. And she said she said it last time, and she will say it tomorrow, and she will say it even next day after tomorrow. But the argument among many people was that there was no punchline between being funny and offensive. She just made the statement just way down and without no punchline.
Well, not everybody is a comedian.
Okay.
And that's another thing too. That's why sometimes comedians would tell you, leave the jokes to the comedians. Right. We've seen other politicians who would make statements, and maybe your intent is to joke, and it turns out to be to come funnily. And then, of course, people will apologize. But to me, definitely, I don't think she meant any harm by it, speaking to her and then listening to the speech. Because I listened to it, to me, there was nothing that sounded sinister or malicious in her body language, in the way it was delivered and everything. In fact, the people that were there were laughing with her. It's a different thing. And I've seen people also making this false equation. With what Jammeh said when Jammeh said, I would kill Mandinkas. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Or when Jammeh would tell the women of Banjul, I know all you do is bleach, but there is one spot that I know you don't bleach. That is insulting. Because that's not a joke. That is insulting people. But this is somebody who apparently is being established, maybe had Badi Bunker roots or whatever. And I think even the people that know her know that privately she would joke with the Jarankas and the Badi Bunkers. I make fun of Pata for being a Jaranka, and I have no business in making fun of Jarankas. Well, based on what people say, because I went to Jara as a coach of Serakunda West. Yeah. And there was this guy, maybe related to Pata, who wanted to beat me up because I complained about the mosquitoes and all that stuff where we were camped. So to me, I don't think there is anything sinister about it. But I also understand when people want to take it to where they want to take it to.
If you live in East Africa, you may hear places like Mabera Forest, Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, and Migingo Island. That's the contested between Uganda and Kenya. And there was a debate as who owned the island, and there was push and pull. The Kenyan Luo said it belongs to them, and the Ugandan also said the island belongs to them. So when it was adjudicated, they said the island belongs to Kenya. But before that, President Museveni said the Kenyan Luos are mad. It did not go down well with them. But when it was adjudicated that the island belongs to Kenya, he came and said, yes, he agreed the island belongs to Kenya, but the water that flows is from Uganda. Now, coming back to home, this statement has already ruffled many feathers. If you are to advise Rohi Lowe, what will you tell her next time that she's on a political platform? Well,
because of our politics have become now, people have become laser sharp with everything that is said in public space, and for good reason. Because after 22 years of hearing all this divisive rhetoric, especially from Jammeh, so people have become extremely sensitive to what is being said. So I would advise her maybe to, keep those jokes between her and the people that she joke with privately, and not bring it in public space. Because if you look at it too, Omar, everything that Jammeh had said about people, sometimes in a very nasty way,
right.
People have become, like I said, very, very sensitive. So that is one thing that she can do. And to me, it can be a teachable moment for her, where she would understand that maybe the next time I give a speech, I will just move away from that issue. Because what this issue have done is that it has overshadowed everything that she has said. I've heard people say that, well, she did not even address the issues about Banjul. Right. What I heard her say, which was very honest, was to Adama Barrow, listen, I'm the mayor of Banjul, but if I were to have a guest now, I don't think I would want to bring that guest to Banjul to see the nature of this place. We need help. And she talked about the drainage system and all these other issues. But again, that is all lost in translation, because now the focus is what she said about Badibunkas and Jarankas,
right,
and not the issues that she advanced. So if I were to advise her, I would like maybe to stay away from that and focus on
another thing,
on other issues. Yeah.
Okay, finally, another thing has to do with the claims made by President Barrow that some journalists requested money from him. What do you make of that?
I don't believe President Barrow. And let me tell you why.
Right, yes.
There is this magazine called the African Leadership Magazine. Mm-hmm. Recently, we know that Ahmad Ba was given an award by that magazine. And the other recipients of awards from that magazine include the one and only Yahya Jammeh, who received it twice. And what they do is they charge you to have you in their article, and I think they charge about $6,000 or so to have you on the cover of their magazine. Well, we saw Ahmad Ba there in his nice, beautiful gown in the cover on the cover of the magazine. So this is this is the thing.
I said
Adama Barrow had accused some journalists. He did not say one journalist. He said some journalists came to him and asked him for money. And I think for the credibility of of journalism in that country and the democracy that we want to build, I would have expected Adama Barrow to come out in the open and said, listen, Pasamba Jau or Modu Jai came to me and asked me for money so that they could write good stories for me. Because what he has done now, he has muddied the name of journalists, where everybody is looking at everybody else with a suspicious eye. Yeah. But what I believe here is a person who has been rattled by the press that he's getting, because he's not getting the good press. Everybody was praising him once initially. Now everybody is questioning him. So this is, to me, getting back at those people. It's the same way of asking people, where were you when Hussein was being arrested, or somebody came to me asking for a job and I didn't give it to him. That's why they are opposing me. So to me, I put that all in the same thing about somebody who has become very thin-skinned and cannot handle the bad press or the challenges that he's getting, and decided, you know what, maybe this is the time for me to hit back. I
said final question, but let me ask you the final question. Let's say this was a Banjul Time magazine, and they go to Barrow and said, we want you to give us $100. We will do a story for you. And Barrow, for example, I'm just giving an example. He did not have an agreement with them. Should Barrow come to public and say some journalists request money for me, when that is purely PR?
No, he should not. And you know why? The question that people need to ask themselves, Omar, if I come to you today and we start having a conversation, and the next thing I said to you was, Omar, if you give me $100, I'll make sure that everybody in the diaspora would love you. Yeah. What people need to question is what kind of conversation happened that led to that suggestion being made. Because there must have been a permissive environment from Barrow. They must have seen it in his eyes, in his face, and in his demeanor, to feel so comfortable to ask him for money in return for this thing, for good press. You know, pay to play does not just happen out of the blue. Something must have led to that if it had happened. And this is why I believe that it's just a matter of playing games and trying to sully the names of of journalists. I don't believe him, because to me, I don't think I can. I don't believe him. Let me just say that.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Pasamba Jau, for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that was Coach Pasamba Jau. I am here with Almame Fandintal. We are discussing about the remarks made by the mayor of Banjul, and we also made some reference, talk about the claim made by President Barrow. Mr. Tal, you may remember when Obama was supposed to come to Kenya, CNN made a report and they said Obama going to a terror hotbed. And it did not go down well with Kenyans, and they had to summon CNN, and the chief executive officer was in Kenya to apologize. So, hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes. Who is on the line, please?
It's Sedili. Say who?
Okay, I'm here with your party spokesperson.
Yeah.
We are discussing about the remark of Rohilo.
Okay.
And for him, he said it's a joke. Is it the same thing for you? The same case for you?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon to you, Omar, and your viewers, and good afternoon to Mr. Tal as well. Yeah. I see it as a joke, Omar, because the context and the way she said it, it can't just be a joke. She wasn't serious about it. Okay. So yes, to answer your question, I see it as a joke. But there is this other side as well. I saw the reaction of people on social media, and they said, well, we have this folklore, traditional between the certain people in the country, dates back to, generations to generations, like between the Jarankas and the Nyominkas, between the Badibus and the Kiang. So does this exist between the mayors and the people of Badibu? That's what some people are critically asking. They said, such a relationship doesn't exist, so why did he make it? But I think, like other speakers said, people are getting overly sensitive, Omar. People are Gambia, I don't know whether it's the Jambe factor. I think Gambians are just overly sensitive at any statement. But yes, I see it as a joke. And I think we should not take it so seriously. Like, at the end of the day, the way I look at it, in reality, can the mayor of Banjul stop the people of Badibu from residing in Banjul? She doesn't have those powers. Yeah. Okay, so it could only just be a joke. And I think we should just let this go and see that she was just one of those moments. Because I think she may have this jovial relationship with certain Badibunkas. Because if you listen to her explanation, she says she always jokes with the Badibunkas, and the Jarankas or whatever. But I think lessons learned from this, what the mayors should do moving on, maybe probably restrict the joke between her and those people within the inner circle, and not take it to the national level. That's what I would say, because like people will say, okay, there is no Sanawiya between her and these people. There is no Kal relationship between. So you cannot completely, wipe out certain people. I just want to be honest. I'm not saying that there's no validity in those people who are taking it. But I think at the bigger scheme of things, I think that those are just a joke. And we're just blowing it out of proportion, Omar Wale.
Well, there is Sanawiya, because there is somebody always disturbed almost every day. It's a Dabo Kunanga from Kiandumbu to Adama Dabo. So, yeah. So, moving on. Was that the right platform? This is a question I ask many people. I know you just mentioned a little about it, but can you?
Well, whether that was the right platform, that's a delicate question. And it's very difficult to give a straight answer on this, because there was a moment where the head of state and the dignitaries were there, and she was there to present, Banjul, to try to sell a Banjul, address the concerns of Banjul. But I wouldn't completely say no, she shouldn't have said it there. But given the gravity of the occasion, probably not. But given that, she was just trying to add humor to the occasion, yes, I would say yes. So I would be able to give a straight yes or no answer on this. It just depends on how one look at it, Omar Wale, because the mayoress was trying to add humor to her speech. You don't want to be too serious. Gambians, we have to get out of this overly serious. Sometimes we have to crack jokes here and there, and I think that's what she was trying to do. So when you look at it from that perspective, yes, I can say that, yes, nothing wrong in her saying that on that occasion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sedile.
Okay, thank you, Omar. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I am here with the spokesperson for United Democratic Party, Almami Fandintal. And today we publish a press release on our website. And it was signed by the party Dembo by Force. And it talks about how the coalition was formed and so on. But when you talk to Gambians at the time, they always said Farmata Tambajang is the brain behind the coalition. COC is the mother of the nation, and they put it. But looking through what I read today, it gave us a different narrative. Was he the brain behind the coalition?
I'm very careful when I speak in the name of the UDP.
All right.
And also the origins of the coalition. I think it is suffice it to say that a lot of genuine Gambians have contributed towards bringing this coalition about. And it's a good thing that we have gotten rid of Yahya Jammeh. But the narrative must be without blemish. It must be very clear. It must be very comprehensive and also compelling. So whether Mrs. Jallow Tambajang was the brain behind it, she certainly played a significant role, and I would not want anyone to try and minimize that. But still, the facts are the facts. Those who are participants in this process are the ones who can guide us in this discussion. I know Mr. Halifa Sallah was very instrumental. I know Mr. Ousainou Darboe was very instrumental. I know Mr. Dembo Bojang, the national president of the UDP, has been extremely influential in this process because he was not in prison during the negotiation time. So his version of events have a lot of credibility, and I would just want journalists, again, it's your responsibility to set this story to rest, so that people know. Because people always say this, they say that journalists write the first chapter of history. Because you ask the right questions, you ask the difficult questions, so that I will not come and claim things or pound my chest and say I am this. You will be able to tell people, no, this is what Dembo is saying, this is what Almami is saying, this is what somebody else is saying.
Journalists should do what they're supposed to do, write the first chapter, as we said. A few months ago, I had an interview with Dembo by Force. That was on Bantaba for Standard newspaper, and the issue came up. And what Dembo by Force told me was that Halifa Sallah, although many people did not recognize or kind of did not recognize her effort, I can say, at the time, according to, because Dembo by Force told me the first 12,000 or so came out of Halifa Salah's pocket. It was difficult for them at the time to find a place to hold meetings and so on. But Halifa told them by force, send somebody to Kairaba and tell them it is Halifa Sallah who asked them to come here so that we can have a meeting. And he said the first 12,000 or so came from Halifa Sallah, and that's where the coalition meeting started and so on. But now, that thing is history now. But why is it that UDP is coming with a press release now to talk about what had happened almost nearly 2 years ago? That who is behind this thing and who is not behind this?
The record deserves to be complete. The national president of the UDP, Honorable Dembo Bojang, Dembo by Force, felt it is right to congratulate, first and foremost, the Secretary General and party leader of the UDP, His Excellency, the Vice President, Lawyer Ousainou Darboe. In so doing, he sees it as an opportunity, like you were saying, to bring some traction to the narrative. The narrative is that there are some people who have contributed more than others. Coach was just asking it. People like to ask, where were you when Ousainou Darboe was going to prison? So really, I think the time when to set the record straight is always now. Because the record may have been clear, but you and I we had not spoken, that you had actually interviewed Mr. Bojang on this matter. So really, it's not a question of why now. It's a question of the appropriateness of the context and the times. Because I think what I was hoping that journalists would now be trying to get at, what are the qualities and what are the qualifications that someone like His Excellency the Vice President has brought to the office? Where is the intellectual gravitas? Where is the moral compass to lead this country at that high level? These are the questions I was hoping would come out. But Mr. Dembo Bojang, in his capacity as national president of the party, congratulated the party leader, congratulated His Excellency the President for the appointment. So it is not only one thing in this press release, it was the whole context of the changes that Gambia is going through.
Well, that is Alma Metal, the spokesperson for the United Democratic Party. We're discussing the statement made by the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malick Lowe, and the press release issued by the live president, if you call it.
Did you guys get to discuss this?
Well, this is another thing, the results, because we did not discuss. Let's talk about WAEC exam. Well, we put politics aside, because the point is, the Standard is reporting that the 2018 results, out of 13,335 registered students, only 475 candidates got university entrance. That is a staggering amount.
It's a scandal.
What do you think is the main cause of all this thing? Out of 13, almost 12,000 people fail exam.
Yeah.
They could not get 5 credits, including English and maths.
Yes, I mean, this has been a trend. It has been observed for the last 5-6 years in the Gambia, that the foundation to educational advancement, which is basic and secondary education, has been gradually been eroded. And most of the successes, even that 400, are mainly in private schools. So if you go to the public schools, it's just a sprinkle of students. You cannot have a whole crop of graduating students and you have something close to 90% failure. It is unheard of. I mean, people around the world are struggling with maths. Yeah. But in the Gambia, it seems as if across the board, students are being challenged. So what are the factors responsible for this? Is it the structure of the education system? Is it the little investment that goes into education? Are the teachers the right caliber?
Those are the questions.
These are all questions that we should ask at a national level, because we need to have a national conversation. Because if you don't invest in education, you are trying to what is it called? Waylay the future. You are going to ambush the future generation with a lot of incompetent people, because we start the skilling process in basic school. So really, it's an occasion for reflection to see exactly what is not going right. But private schools, we are seeing most of them, they would register very high percentage in terms of pass, in terms of university admissions. That is the reality, and so everybody is trying to get their children into private schools.
Let me ask you a personal question. Your kids, are they going to private school or public school?
They are going to, they are still in primary, nursery and basic school, but they are going to private schools in the neighborhood in Busubi.
Why private school and not public school?
Because of convenience. I live in Busubi, and the school of my boys are very close by, so some days when the car is broken down, we can walk to school. So.
Okay, for you, as it's a matter of convenience, not as because, like many people say, we don't have a confidence in the system.
I think I haven't gotten to the point of determining confidence, but it is really convenience, and I think it is a very important thing that when we are looking at the education process, that neighborhoods generally should be able to have, especially the basic stages of school, students should be able to walk to school. I think it's a good exercise also.
As a parent, if you are to advise the Minister of Education, what will you tell her?
that the whole system
yes,
needs an overhaul. It needs a review. And we look at the curriculum also, and the tools, the medium of teaching, how do we improve it. But also we look at the quality of the training that is given to teachers so that they can transfer knowledge, or they can help prepare students so that they can be not only making the grades, but to be lifelong learners. Because nowadays you have a lot of platforms where you can learn. There is distance learning, there is online learning. There are all these opportunities, and there are different schools of thoughts suggesting that for the first 7, 8 years of the child's life, there is no need to have a structured curriculum. It's more like letting the child find expression and, you know, gravitate towards the things that he enjoys or she enjoys and fulfills himself. So really there is a lot of thinking. I hear in, I think, either Denmark or Sweden, in one of these Scandinavian countries, high school kids are told to go and grow their own food whilst they are in school. So it's like part of the curriculum so that they can have a first-hand contact with the earth and how food is actually made and processed. So I think there are a lot of innovations globally in terms of this basic and primary education, and I think our new government should consider seriously the level of investment and the level of attention that is given to education.
That is Almami Fandinta, the spokesperson for the United Democratic Party. I know we'll be having more discussion tomorrow because there will be press conference at the, we got the information the UDP will hold a press conference. But what finally would be your message? It has been a long, lengthy interview.
Yes, I think, like I said every time I'm on this platform, that it's a very good thing that we go behind the headlines and we try to engage with all the sources, because nowadays you cannot say anything and expect either to get away with it or to just have your say. Others are involved, others are engaged, and the country is, I believe, moving in the right direction because accountability is there, and people are demanding more and more from their institutions, from their leaders. And let us be very clear, it is all of us who has the responsibility to get this country where we want it to arrive. Like you said, tomorrow the UDP has a press conference, and we intend to give a scorecard, a report of activities and plan activities into the future.
There is this push and pull between UDP and the Barrow Youth Movement. Can you say, I know you said it at a platform, but are they the same? What can you tell? Because can you elaborate on this youth movement and the United Democratic Party?
I said it before. The youth movement is a youth movement established in the name of His Excellency, the President. It's called the Barrow Youth for Development. Apparently, there is no movement in the name. I have been informed. All I have said, and I would repeat it here, is that there is no organ of the UDP or unit of the UDP called Barrow Youth for Development. So it's an initiative that I compared it to the First Lady's initiative. She has this health, this foundation for health and related matters. There is so much work to do in this country. Anybody who can help in that regard is to be welcome. But we cannot conflate two things or three things that are not the same. The UDP is an organization. In August this year, it will be 22 years old, and it has very clear structures. It has its youth wing, it has its women wing, it has all the units and organs that makes a modern political party. It's just the case that this Youth for Development is not part of the UDP.
You are going to be 22 years this year. Have you seen another African National Congress?
Well, we are trying as much as possible to reform, modernize, and prepare the party for the ages. We want it to be the home of progressives. Every progressive Gambian is welcome, is invited to come and be part of this process, because we believe that if we want to be true to the legacy of someone like Madiba Nelson Mandela, he joined the ANC and he left the ANC, all the better for it. I mean, our struggles are not the same, but we can confidently say that the UDP was given birth to because we were standing up to dictatorship, and the Gambian people have kept the faith with us, and our flag bearer became the coalition flag bearer, and he is now the president of the country. Our party leader is the vice president. We believe that the Gambian people have chosen to confer this mandate and trust on our party. We want to be worthy of it going into the ages. So yes, why not? Another 100 years, another 200 years. We want the UDP to be here long after we have left the stage.
Another thing just came up. Somebody just texted me, said, please ask him, people who claim to be UDP, oh my God, people who claim to be UDP are harassing people on social media. This is just a question from someone. What do you say to that?
We are always telling the militants and members of the party that whenever you are acting, please remember that Solo Sandeng gave his life for this party. Please remember that Femi Peters died. So many Gambians have died because of this party. So in your dealings, in your relationships with other Gambians, you must be respectful, you must try to be worthy of the legacy of these people. We have asked many times, the party leader has made many broadcasts and statements urging members to be as restrained as possible in their engagements. But of course, this is a free country, and people that belong to movements can manifest. As long as they do this within reason, within limits, I think is part and parcel of the democratic game. But we want everybody to be respectful and to be considerate when they are dealing with others.
Well, thank you so much, Almame Fandintal, the spokesperson for the United Democratic Party. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you today. We discussed about the remark made by the mayor of Banjul, and he clarified on that, and the press release issued by the United Democratic Party, live President Dembo by force. And he also said that on that, and also the complaints among many people that the UDP militants normally harass them on Facebook also have said light on that as well. And tomorrow, according to him, there will be a press conference, and they will tell us what they have achieved in the past 22 years. So viewers, that's all we have for you today. From me, Omar Wali, and my team here, Pab and Mansour, thank you so much for your time.
Hey.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm going to replace my AfriCell 3G SIM card.
Why use a 3G SIM card when you have a 4G phone? Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real AfriCell 4G SIM and receive 1 GB